Message: wear all required PPEs before starting assembly. Obtain field coils from bin 1 and housing from upper shelf of trolley 1. Orient the coil such that the copper terminal is aligned with the hole on housing. Insert the coil in the housing and remove the terminal from the hole as shown. Note: press the coil and insert it in the housing, but don't press it more than necessary as it might break copper wires inside. Insert rubber seal from bin 2 on the terminal as shown and tighten it. Align the brush holder from bin 3, brush from bin 4, terminal on the housing and the machine screw with Phillip head from bin 5. Fasten the components with overhead hanging pneumatic torque gun and number 2 Phillips bit. Check if the unit looks as shown. Note: orientation of the brush and terminal on the holder is critical. If not done properly, there will be issues later on in the assembly. Align the holes on the brush units and make them concentric. Mount the metal pressure clip from bin 6 on the brush units. Check if the unit looks as shown. Place the brush unit between the clamps on the housing. Align the holes of the unit and the clamp. Insert brush pin from bin 6. Check if the unit looks as shown. Note: check if both brush units are clamped together by pressure clip. Repeat steps from 5.5 to 5.14 for another brush assembly. After repeating step 5.14, check if the unit looks as shown. Obtain pole shoe from bin 8 and gasket from bin 9. Place the gasket on the pole shoe as shown. Insert the pole shoe between the field coil. Align the hole on pole shoe with the hole on housing. Fasten the pole shoe with the flathead screw from bin 10 from the outside of housing as shown. Note: hold the pole brush from inside with another hand, and if the holes are not aligned, align the hole on pole shoe with the through hole on housing. Repeat the steps from 5.16 to 5.20 for the remaining 3 pole shoes. After all 4 pole shoes are assembled, the assembly should look as shown. Obtain the armature from lower shelf of trolley 1. Insert armature in the housing assembly coaxially as shown. Mount the assembly on the bench vise. Use pliers to stretch the brushes and place them on the armature as shown. Obtain housing mounts from bin 14 and 4 gassy from bin 15 and align holes on them. Insert lever pin from bin 16 through the housing mount and 4 gassy, as shown. Fix a lever pin with a U-pin and check if the fork lever assay is functioning smoothly. Insert the spring from bin 17 on the piston. Mount the solenoid on the housing mount as shown. Note: keep the orientation of the solenoid as shown, not the other way around. Fix the solenoid on the housing mount with 2 cap screws from bin 18. Obtain plate assay from bin 11 and align the through holes on it with the gap in the assembly. Mount the plate assay on the armature, keeping its hole aligned with the gap as described in the previous step. Insert the double-side threaded through screw from bin 12 in the through hole near the copper terminal. Insert through screw from bin 13 and another through the hole on plate assay. Align armature and housing mount unit coaxially. Insert the armature in the housing mount as shown. Tilt the housing mount as required to make room for the fork to pass through pinion and clutch. Slide the clutch pinion assembly towards the fork. Mount the fork on the clutch pinion assembly as shown. Align the metal extrude and 2 through screws previously mounted on the housing assembly with their respective holes as shown. Fasten the through screws for assembling the mount, housing and plate assay. Note: if screws are not getting into the holes, align the holes properly and try again. It might take few attempts. Obtain copper terminal connector from bin 19 and the flange head screw from bin 20. Concentrically align copper terminal and the connector as shown. Fasten the terminal and the connector. Place the final assembly on the trolley to the right. It is now ready for packaging.